Hi, this is Lou, and wanted to thank you guys for all the feedback and comments on the first video and the pretty much the introduction to the launch of my online course. So I wanted to jump on here and thank you guys for it. Just a quick reminder what the online course is about again, right? It's about teaching people like you on how to be an electronic tech, and not just a parts changer, but how to be an electronic tech. And some of the things that's covered within this online course will be on like testing equipment, voltages, right, AC, DC, safety. Again, testing equipment like your oscilloscope, multimeter, your signal generator, the curve tracer, even LCR meters. And then we'll talk about like components, some of your most common components, the theories of it in a simplified way where you guys would understand. For example, like a transistor, right? It just acts like a switch. So how do you turn this switch on? And those are things that we'll talk about. So like transistors, resistors, capacitors, diodes, Zeners, again, transistor, NPN, PNP, your FETs, MOSFETs, your IGBTs, your transformers, your SCRs, triacs, relays, optocouplers. So those are some of the things that we'll touch on, and even more components. Again, like how does it work, right? The theory of it. How do you test an in circuit, outer circuit? What testing equipment do you use? And then we'll talk about like the step-by-step procedure on how to troubleshoot, and get you guys in the right mindset on how to troubleshoot. What do you do when you get stuck? Where do I get data sheet from? And so on. So those are some of the things that will be covered within this course. And some of the things that I would say is that people would think, well, Lou, how would I learn this electronic stuff without having it in front of me? Well, everything would be based off of video, and it's going to go on a step-by-step of like, what do you need first, right? First of all, you need a mindset. How do you troubleshoot? And we'll talk about having the right mindset, and then we'll talk about safety, right? You want to make sure you're doing things in a safe way where you're not hurting yourself, other people around you, the equipment you're working on. And then we'll go through testing equipments, and then we'll go through your components, and I'll take you on a step by step. And there is no skipping through. When you skip through things and you're not taking time to learn it, then you're not going to learn it. So this course is based off of that. So it would be like a 3-month course where you're going through step by step, and I'll take you guys through step by step, and you guys will learn these things before you move on, and you'll build your foundation as you go. So this is the only way that I could do an online course without you guys actually being here. And we're going to have a private Facebook group where you guys are going to be able to ask questions as we go through each module and each lesson. You guys will definitely be able to ask questions, and I have my team that could help out too. So those are things we will do to help you guys move along and teach you guys on within this 3 months to get you guys on track to be an electronic tech. Some of the other things is like, Lou, what if I get stuck? Well, we have the Facebook group, so you guys would definitely be able to get on Facebook group, message us, leave a comment, and the beauty of it is being in a private Facebook group is you get other people with different experiences that could jump on and help you guys troubleshoot this. And whether you guys are doing it as a job or as a business owner, I mean, we can share and bounce ideas of, how do you become a better tech, or if you're a business owner, how do you grow your business? Those are things that we can all talk about within this private group. So it will definitely help you guys out on that. But just to recap, right? Some of the things that I'm talking about are, again, is like your testing equipments, your component theory, and then how do you troubleshoot and repair electronics. And then let me show you guys a quick demonstration on how and why I teach those things. So follow along. I'm going to turn the camera on to the board, and I'll go through what we do, right? On kind of a step-by-step of what I would do with a board that would come in. So hold on a second while I flip this camera around. Okay, I've got a board here that basically it's a pretty simple board, but this is for demonstration only. And from some of the things that I'll be teaching you guys, you guys basically know how to go through and test this whole board out. And first thing you would do is you would do a visual, right? So just by looking at these, all your common components is basically what I'm going to be going over with you guys. Like if I just look here, this is a transformer, relays. These are MOVs. That's what it looks like, or varistor. Here also, capacitors, diodes, LEDs. Maybe 1 to 2 watts. Resistors, another relay. These right here, maybe transistors. I'll have to pull data sheet on those. I don't know it. This one right here, just from the part number 7805, that's a 5-volt regulator. These look like optocouplers, switches, and these would be probably some type of switching device, maybe transistors or something. Not sure if they're NPN or PNP. And but basically that's all that's on this board, right? So just by identifying all these are all components that we'll be covering. This is probably like a gal or pal has it. When you see ICs with their own sticker on top, that's probably it's not probably, but they do have their own program in there. So I don't know if you guys can see that. They have their own program in there, and that would be the only issue if you don't have another one of these, and if that goes bad, if it's shorted, then you're pretty much out of luck. But yeah, this is basically how you would kind of do a visual, identify all the parts, circuitry here. You'll realize that this, with the transformer being here, this is your power up, and then with your relay contacts, I mean, you have some connectors here, so more likely this is where your relay contact is going to go out on. Over here, some kind of signal going out. I don't know if it's tied back to these optos or not, but you have your LEDs for indication. You can see some of the writings on here. Right, so those are some of the things you want to look at as far as circuitry, doing visual, making sure if anything's blown up or not, and you can see there's nothing blown up. Look for cold solder joints and see if there's any cold solder joint. But those would be some of the steps that you would go through. And then how do you test it, right? And in this demonstration here, we're going to use the most easy and most accessible tool, which is the multimeter. I like using this old one just because it is available here on the bench. But any old multimeter would do. You have your AC and DC voltages, your millivolts. You have your resistance, which is in ohms, and then you have your diode test and your continuity, and then you have your amperage, AC and DC. Right, so if I want to test my amperage, I can move over here to the 10 amp or the 300 milliamp and put it in series, but we won't go through that now. But basically what I would do is I normally put it on the diode setting, and if you guys go through the course, you guys will know how to test these diodes out, right? So first thing I want to do is I want to say, okay, what's the easiest way of going through and testing the easiest component first? So basically I did a visual, and now I'm going to do a component test, and I'm testing all the discrete components on here. And discrete components are basically just components that are individually packaged, like your capacitors, your LEDs, your resistors, This is a probably this looks like a it's labeled as an L, but it's like a low resistance, maybe a 0 ohm. So basically acts like a jumper. But some of your discrete would be like your transistors, maybe MOSFET or whatever they are. I didn't pull up data sheet on these, and then opto couplers. So those would be some of the things that we would test first. So the easiest thing would be is there a fuse? I don't see a fuse, so I can't test that. And then diodes, right? So I would just go through, and diode is nothing more than a discrete component that allows current to flow in one way. So here we'll see a diode here, right? You have your anode, your cathode. Cathode has a line here. Current will flow from the anode to the cathode, and it won't allow current to flow from the cathode to the anode. So basically, how you test it? You put it on the diode setting, and you will put your red lead on the anode, which is the one away from the little mark, the band, and then you would just test it, and you're looking for a voltage drop. Doesn't matter what, right? It doesn't matter if it's 0.3, 0.8. I'm just looking for a voltage drop, and I'm getting 0.48, making sure that it's not shorted. So what I would do is I would go through and check them all, right? Go through and check all my diode. The red to the anode, which is away from the band. And got those tested. Here's saw some over here. This is for my relay. Saw it moving there. And I have some over here. Probably signal diodes. But they all should test the same. So I'm going through and checking all these. And here's some over here too, which I missed. So I'll check these out. So check all those out. They're fine. What if my LEDs are dead, right? If they're dead, here's a little technique that we do use to test LEDs, and it's basically here's a capacitor meter. What this capacitor meter does is it puts out a voltage. Like for example, I've got it set to there. If I set this to DC voltage, and if I put this on my black lead and this on my red lead, I'm going to get some kind of voltage. So we're looking at about 0.7. If I change it, 0.9, 1.1, 1.2. So the highest it goes up is 1.2, right? So I could do 1.2 here, and if I want to test these LEDs, I could touch the back of this. Let me change this up. Let me take this out. Put this on here. And let's see. So as you guys can see, it's coming on. So I could go through and check my LEDs out. That one's on. on. Let's go here, easier. And then you can see it's on too. So easy way of testing LEDs using capacitor checker. One of the technique that we use here if nothing's close and available. But basically what we've done is we've checked the LEDs, we've checked the diodes, no fuse. I would go through and I would definitely check like these devices here. Just make sure there's no short. Put it back to the diode setting and just make sure that there's no short. I go through all 3 pins. Open, I'm okay with open or 1 point something. I'm just making sure there's no short. Alright, so I'll go through. So those are nothing. That was nothing too. I don't know what device there are. I'll probably pull data sheet on those, on that one, just to see what it is. Open and open. I will do that to that also. So these over here is probably the same thing. Just check, make sure there's no short. And that one is testing short. Let me test this one over here. It's testing short. So just by looking at this right here, I'll see, I don't know if you guys can see it, but you see how there's a resistor across here. It goes to this pin. You can see the trace here and the trace here. And that right there is probably going to give me my reading. So I'll just switch it to resistance and I'll read across it. And I get a 67 ohms, and that's why I'm reading a short. So if I switch back to over here, I'm reading the 67 ohms. So I know that this is not a bad device. So that's just quickly going through that. I mean, I could test these optos too, but let's say if I want to power this up, I'm looking at this transformer and I'll know how a transformer works. On here it says 115 on primary, and then secondary I'm going to get 23 volts AC. I don't know if you guys can see that. And then I'm going to say, okay, where's my input? Well, just by looking at here, I can see a L1 and my neutral. So I'll leave it on my diode setting, which is going to be my continuity. I'm going to look over here, flip this around. I'll see my pins here and my pins here. So more likely this is my input. See how these two are tied together and these two are tied together? So these will be my input. So it's going to be these two, which is going to be these two right here, okay? And that's just from knowing transformers. So I'll put power to it. So let me find a connector. Grab 2 random jumpers here. I'm going to put it in here. So they're in there. I need AC to go in. I have my Variac, which is on my workbench. You guys won't see it, but here's my inputs. I'm going to put it here. Alright, so this obviously probably broke off. Do this right here. I'm gonna put in two different ones. You guys can tell this is kind of off the cuff, just doing it as I go. Didn't prep up for it, just figure out put this together. Alright, we're gonna leave that there. I normally, if I'm doing something like this, what I do is I'll loop one in so that they could never touch, which would cause a short. So these two, if they're hanging, right, if they're hanging, they're not touching. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but let's put this over here. This is my AC. I'm gonna change this to AC on my meter, and I'm gonna monitor my input, and then turn on my power supply, and then I'm gonna crank it up to 110. Make sure you guys have safety glasses on if you guys are ever doing this. So I'm about 110, and I don't see any LEDs come on. So just by looking at here, look at these guys are my bridge. Looks on my bridge rectifier, and this right here looks like a that looks like a, let me see, LM317. So that's going to give me an output voltage, and again, this one over here is a 7805. So I don't know if what voltage I'm supposed to get. So here you can see I get 5 volts, and then I got 24 going in. All right, so if this right here is the tap, which is normally ground, input is here 24, and then 5 volts. So I'm getting my 5 volts. Let me see what I'm getting on this one over here. It might be on separate. 24 going in. And 24 going out. So I got that working, and I got my voltage applied to it, and I'm looking to see if anything's heating up. Nothing's heating up. So voltages seem to be correct. So I could check here. More likely this is ground, and this is my 5. It's supposed to be anyways, right? So without pulling a data sheet, I don't know. Let's measure across here. I get 5 volts. So looks like this is my 5 volt. My VCC here. So now that everything's powered up, I could pretty much go. I went through and checked on my voltages and make sure I do have voltage and they're present. So that's the power up side of it. I could probably test these on optos. More likely these guys are pin 1 is my positive and that is my ground, and more likely that's probably going to drive my LEDs on. So I could test these on here, or I could test it on with another method. I won't go too long into that. I won't go into that because it's going to take too long to set up. But that is basically how you will power up. And I'm going to show one more thing, and then I'm going to cut this short because I've already went too long. on it. So power down, take voltage out, and if I need to test relays in circuit, then I just need to figure out like, because all relays have what they call a flyback diode or a protection diode across the coil, and I just need to find that. So I don't know what the pinouts on this is. So I'm looking in the back here. I'll see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm assuming that these two right here are probably the contact, and this is a 24 volt right, a 24 volt relay. I don't know if you guys can see that. So what I'll do is I'll put like 24. And I think, let me see, I'm thinking is these two is probably the coil. So I'm gonna go with red on the cathode, which is not the right one if I'm making contact. So yeah, you can hear it come on. See, yeah, this is the right one. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but and now I'll just have to measure the contacts. Same thing here. Relays coming on, and this one right here is pretty straightforward since it only has one, right? Red positive on the cathode of the diode, and then ground on the other side. So that's basically what you guys will learn how to do, and then as you guys get better and understand more, you guys could go through other different types of boards that would be a little bit more complicated. But this board, if I take the time to, I could go through this whole board and test all the optos and LEDs and basically turn this board on and off through over here. And so it's pretty straightforward. So enough of the board, and let me flip this back around. Alright guys, hopefully you guys enjoy that little demonstration on how to kind of go through the power supply or that board. So basically what you guys will learn through the course is learning how to troubleshoot, understanding the electronic side of it, and then how to troubleshoot it and repair it. So those will be things that we will cover within that course, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. It was kind of long. As anything else, it just takes a lot of time to go through and go through all that. So hopefully you guys enjoy it, and I'm gonna post this video on my Facebook page also, and go and leave some comment on what you guys saw that was interesting, what you guys like about it, what you guys want to learn more about. And I'll be doing another video number 3, and I'll talk more in depth of what's going to be on the online course. So thanks again for watching this video and hanging out with me, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video, or I'll see you guys in the next video. So thanks again guys, bye.